and there was a faint aroma of scented soap. "Wakey, wakey," the man said. But I could not, or would not, be woken. I did not want to face whatever was ahead of me. The great coat that kept me warm was cast aside, however, and I was scooped up without ceremony in his big arms and carried down and out of the carriage. I kept my eyes closed. I did not want to wake up to these new surroundings, to these foreign smells, this new world. But I was aware of keys clinking, of a journey across a courtyard, the man's boots tapping the stones, of an odour of mildew, candlelight flickering before us, and against the narrow walls, and the length of one long passage after another. I was dumped upon a bed. Someone unstrapped my boots, dropped them to the floor, and my pinny and dress were pulled over my head. My legs first, then my body, were slipped between the cold sheets, and the covers drawn up to my chin. The man, I knew his voice now, entered the room. "Mind you behave yourself," he instructed. Then he departed, pulling the door gently behind him, and I fell back into the abyss of sleep. 2. In the morning, I was awake before it was light, because that was my custom, and I lay in my bed and looked about me. In the semi-dark, I made out that the walls were wooden and bare, the ceiling low, and my room small. I got up and stood at the curtained window. I drew it aside to look out at an abandoned yard shadowy with empty casks and silvery with metal staircases, a place I later came to know as the disused brewery. The bedside table held an unlit candle in a holder on its surface, and my clothes from last night were folded on the end of my bed. Something strange was propped up against the bedpost. A knitted doll. I retrieved her and snuggled back down with her under the covers, holding her close in case someone took her away. She had yellow plaits and a red tartan skirt, and I decided that her name would be Poppet. Not long after the light filtered into my room, someone bustled inside. "Good morning, Estella," said the woman. She was squat, with grey hair half hidden under a white cap, but her wrinkled face was kind, and her brown eyes bright. "You've opened the curtains. I hope you slept well. My name is Mrs. Butters, and I am here to help you dress. I see you found your doll. Do you like her?" I said that I did. I volunteered that I had named her Poppet, and Mrs. Butters said that was a nice name. She told me that, provided I did as she asked, we would get along. She told me that I must always do as Miss Havisham asked, that if I did not, it would be the worse for me, and I wondered how things could get worse, and in what way. Mrs. Butters also told me that the last bairn she looked after was Miss Havisham herself. Who is Miss I asked, as the housekeeper pulled my pinny over my head, but I could get no further than the first syllable of her name. "You will find out soon enough," Mrs. Butters said. I was taken to the kitchen and fed tea and porridge for breakfast, which is more than I ever had before, and then Mrs. Butters took me upstairs to be introduced. She held a flickering candle out in front of her as we made our way up in the darkness, and clutched my hand in one of hers. The house seemed enormous, and the passages never-ending and dingy, and I was glad of the comfort of her hand. Upstairs, she knocked upon a door and pushed it open. "Miss Havisham," she called, "I have brought Estella to meet you." We entered the room. It was shadowy, the curtains all drawn, and at first I could see nothing and drew back apprehensively on the threshold. But Mrs. Butters took up my hand again. "Come, Estella," she encouraged, leading me inside. A fireplace, with a fire glimmering with sparks and light, was against one wall. Trunks, half packed with beautiful silken dresses, lay abandoned on the floor, and a large dressing table strewn with dead flowers occupied one corner. Jewels were scattered upon its surface, as well as a silver-backed